I just started doing the headers. I forgot to start recording before I pulled the heat shield off. But that's it. 3 bolts, 2 on the top, 1 right here. Wasn't too bad. You can get a socket wrench in there with a shallow socket. The top ones I did with an impact. Not too bad. You just have to kind of really coax it out. It was hanging up a little bit on the motor mount there. This AC hose wasn't really in the way, surprisingly. But that's as far as I've gotten. Sprayed the PB blaster on the 3 bolts, or 3 nuts and studs here. And then there's 3 down at the cat. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to spray these next. All the header bolts, nuts, and hope for the best. This is pretty straightforward, but can turn into quite a job if you end up breaking a stud or something, so we're going to try to avoid that. There's the new header. So it's a 4 to 2 to 1 flex pipe there. Alright, so we're underneath the car. There's your, should be 3 on the cat. You got a hanger here, O2 sensors there. Actually notice there's this bracket that's also holding this downpipe, and it's actually 4 to 2 to 1 stock, so that's not any different. And then you've actually got access here to every one of these nuts. I was hoping I wouldn't have to take this plastic splash shield off, and we're good there, so it's just going to be a matter of getting everything loosened up. Alright, so that one there is not coming off. I'm gonna have to come back to that. So these front ones, bolting the downpipe to the header came off pretty easily. I'm gonna try and get these ones in the bracket over here. I'm probably gonna go in from this way. Alright, I thought I was recording, but I guess not. I just took these 2 nuts off. Pretty simple. You can leave I think you can leave these bigger ones on the bracket, and then this should just slide towards the back and come off. Next thing I'm going to do is take this O2 sensor off and try to get this nut off again. Alright, I guess it just needed to soak some more. I just realized this isn't going to drop down without getting this mount off these studs, and that's not going to happen without taking the whole cat off so that this can slide. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to take these 2 bolts off, these bigger upper bolts. Probably should have just done that to begin with, but I'm gonna have to take these nuts off anyway to transfer the rest of the bracket to the new downpipe, so might as well just do them both. Alright, so we got our O2 sensor socket. Put that on there. It wasn't really that tight, so They put just enough bend on the end of this thing to where it is impossible to remove. Tempted to just cut it off since I have some new rubber mounts. I'm trying to avoid that. Alright, just pulled that out. I'm just gonna have to replace this rubber hanger. I'm gonna spray all these nuts on the header, PB blaster. Let them soak for a minute before I take them off. And I'm gonna crack them all by hand. I don't want to risk anything. I don't want to deal with a broken stud on there. Real quick, on this last nut on the farthest driver's side, it's really hard to get to. I was getting all these nuts off this morning, and when I got to that one, I think I started with a deep 6-point socket, and because this is in the way here, couldn't really get a good bite on it and get it all the way flush on the nut. So started to round a little bit, which is exactly what I didn't want. I tried the 12-point shallow, which was also slipping. You don't want to really use a 12-point on exhaust nuts if you can help it. So I just kind of stopped. I had to go work, and I stopped at Harbor Freight. I got these 6-point shallow impact sockets, and I even bought some extractor sockets because I thought, you know, if it comes down to it. But this ended up working, and I had to use this combination of wobble extension and wobble adapter here to just kind of get enough leverage. And there you can see I got it cracked and now it's turning out. So that's that. But just a heads up, unless you want to cut that metal out of the way, the access is not very good at all. So be prepared for that. Make sure you have a shallow 6-point socket and a way to get it in there. Alright, all the nuts are off. It looks like I did overlook something here. I don't know if you can see in there, there's a bolt. On this side there's not. So that one I took out earlier, kind of on accident, but I guess I need to take them out anyway. So I'm going to get that other side. Alright, got the header and the gasket off. While I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up. Brake cleaner and wire brush. Alright, got that pretty clean. It's not perfect. I mean, I would do better, but I'm on a time crunch with this project, so we're going to call it good. We're going to put the new headers on. Alright, we're finally ready to install the new parts. Take a look here, and you'll see that these are threaded. We got some studs in here, so we're gonna go ahead and put those in. So just kind of threw this in loose, but I was checking to see if it's going to use these brackets at all, and it's not. So debating taking those out. a little concerned about this bracket. The holes are in the right spot, but on the other one it seemed like it was shifted over to one side more. So we're going to see if that's going to be an issue. Alright, so just a quick tip. When you put these nuts on, you're going to want to go from the bottom. But after struggling with that for a minute, I realized that is not the move. You need to go from up top and kind of get under here to put your nut on from the bottom there, and then go underneath and tighten it. There's just barely enough room to get your hand in there and get the nut started. Alright, so we're down under the car. I'm just going to go ahead and tighten all these up. When you tighten anything with a gasket, always go from the middle to the outside. So starting in the middle here. Then you're going to go back to this side, back to that side, and so on. Alright, it's all tightened up. I'm going to start it up and check for exhaust leaks. You heard that rattling, but that O2 plug right there, I'm going to grab a wrench and tighten that up. I'm going to let this run for a while, let everything get nice and hot, let the exhaust gaskets get seated and everything. Probably go back and retorque some stuff. Alright, so the headers have been installed. I've driven it a few times. It sounds really good. As you can see, the headers have gotten like a bronze tint to them now, which is pretty cool. Haven't noticed any exhaust leaks or anything like that. Didn't make a huge difference with the catback already being installed. You definitely get a little bit more of a rumble, especially at idle. Overall, I mean, it sounds really good. I'm really happy with the whole system. I think the headers were like 120 bucks, and the catback was 140. So, you know, pretty budget-friendly option altogether. Looks really good. Sounds pretty decent. Like I mentioned in the last video, if you really wanted to dial in the tone, you could put a resonator in, maybe put a different muffler on, and you know, still be well under 500 bucks for the whole system, which I think is pretty fantastic. I'm going to crank it up here and let you hear it. I also wanted to mention real quick and shout out to my girlfriend and my friends who made this possible. My girlfriend Amanda, she was helping me with the install, but she set up this whole thing where we had my birthday party and surprised me. She, I guess, got everybody to pitch in to get me a nice gift for my birthday, and yeah, just surprised me mid-party with a couple of boxes. I open it up and see that it's the exhaust that I had on my wish list for this car. So really happy to get that. Really happy that it's installed. Everything worked out really nice. No major issues. And now I'm going to enjoy the car. I'm actually planning on doing air suspension tomorrow. So we're going to have some friends over, help me install that. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. It'll be my first time doing that. And yeah, that'll be another video, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one.